Welcome back to another exciting week of Superman Comic a Day. This week we'll be covering Superman number 4 because it's 4 new stories. And because these videos would be very long if I covered each 4 of these new stories, I will just be covering 1 story a day, which will take up the amount of time I have to talk about Superman comics this week. So let's get into what I think is the best story in this comic, and one of my favorites so far, Superman versus Luthor. And if you remember the last episode where I talked about Luthor, the reason I enjoy this issue is because of Luthor. Luthor actually makes a great challenge, unlike the mob. So right away, the comic starts off with buildings collapsing. There is an earthquake in Metropolis, which is usually meant to be on the East Coast, so that seems highly unlikely. Superman goes off to save a bunch of people, which he does. Hey, he's saving people! Love it when he does that, instead of, just kind of being around and letting people die like he has been in the Golden Age so far. This is actually kind of funny because it's only a 14-page comic and you would think like a massive earthquake would be a thing he would have to deal with for a long time. But no, it's only about a page and a half, maybe a page. Back at the Daily Planet, and yes, the Daily Planet. This is the first story in Superman comics to refer to the newspaper he works for as the Daily Planet. It is no longer the Daily Star, which was a Toronto-based newspaper where Joe Shuster used to be from, and was a big influence on Shuster's version of Metropolis. Toronto was more the city it was based on, even though we always kind of assume it's Cleveland. But the skyline was meant to be Toronto. So back at the Daily Planet, George Taylor, who's still there, explains to Clark that a Professor Martinson has invented some sort of earthquake machine, and that's probably the best place to start off. So Clark goes over to Professor Martinson's, who invites him in and is willing to give him an interview about his earthquake machine. But as soon as Clark sits down, he hits Clark over the head with a wrench. He checks his vital signs and Clark's heart has stopped. Apparently Superman has the power to stop his heart, something that might come up again, but I doubt it will anytime soon. What an ability for him to have. I don't really understand why, other than it's a cool thing to do. And he throws Clark out the window to make his death look like a suicide. I don't know, I feel like the cops would have a lot of questions about this. But Clark, being Superman, Superman, bright blue costume, red cape, Superman, catches himself on a windowsill and starts climbing back up. This man who claimed to be Professor Martinson is not actually Professor Martinson. He is a henchman for Luthor. Luthor is talking to him through some sort of TV communication device that's in a cabinet. With it, he's able to see Superman is climbing on the outside. He doesn't question why Superman happens to be exactly where they left Clark Kent to die, and Clark Kent didn't die. Luthor is not as smart as he claims to be. Well, he hasn't actually claimed to be all that smart so far, but he's been doing better than the Ultra Humanite. So one of Luthor's aircrafts shoots a bomb at Superman, but Superman catches the bomb and just throws it back at the airplane, exploding it. No problems with the debris falling on anyone or anything. He returns back to the room where the faux Professor Martin is missing, where Luthor shows up on the screen. This is Luthor still with red hair, not bald yet. Will that ever be explained? Yes, but we don't see it, and that's not really the original reason he's bald. He just kind of becomes bald, and then we get a reason for him being bald, which is wonderful when we get to that. Superman quickly finds out that Luthor's men are stealing the device to cause earthquakes from the United States military. Wait, how did Luthor cause the earthquakes to begin with? Was it the military? I'm actually kind of confused about this, thinking about it. So did the government do this? Crap, maybe Superman should be going after the military for this and many other reasons. Superman arrives and easily fights off the 2 men trying to steal the earthquake device, who run away. Luthor's face then appears into a tree, which is something he seems to be able to do. He had his face appear into a mountain last issue. When you're good at something, why stop? He challenges Superman to some sort of competition of feats, and if Superman wins, he gets Professor Martinson back. Superman agrees to this challenge, and instead of just taking Luthor out when he arrives with Professor Martinson, he goes along with these feats. These feats involve a test of speed where he races one of Luthor's aircrafts. He wins. A test of his leaping ability, specifically if he can leap higher than an airplane can climb. He wins that one too, going into the stratosphere. A test of strength where Luthor creates some sort of electrical magnetic field where he lifts a boulder, and then Superman lifts that boulder fairly easily, and then he picks up an airplane at the same time. And number 4, which is a invulnerability test where Luthor just throws a grenade at him without warning, which has no effect. Luthor is surprised by all this, but what I actually kind of enjoy about this, in like TV shows or movies, whenever they're kind of like setting up Luthor, building to him, he has like henchmen commit crimes to see Superman's limits, like he's testing Superman, like how fast he can do, what weapons work on him, what he can get away with, and that's what he feels like he's doing. Luthor in the next stories never seems to actually have learned anything, but I feel like he's studying Superman here. With Superman winning all those, he gets Martinson back, but Luthor is gone. It all turns out to be a trick by Luthor, by the way. He was having his henchmen steal the earthquake device while this was all happening. So Luthor accomplished a trick and to test Superman's powers. Already doing so much better than the Ultra-Humanite. But Professor Martinson's pretty sure that Luthor's hideout was in Satan's Canyon. Who named these things in Metropolis? Satan's Canyon is right outside of Metropolis. Superman rushes over there. I have a lot of questions about where Metropolis is supposed to be. Mainly about why Metropolis seems to be kind of like a desert, mountainous, rocky area when it's usually like an East Coast city. Like just outside of it sort of looks like California or New Mexico. It's very strange. And this is where Luthor really shines against the Ultra-Humanite. As we know, the henchman would always lead Superman back to the Ultra-Humanite, who would have maybe one thing ready. Luthor is prepared for Superman. First, he has a bunch of boulders fall on him. Superman punches his way through that. Then some dogs. Superman punches his way through that one too. Less fun. And a knockout gas, which does work on Superman. Wait, I thought gases don't work on Superman. Consistency, people. I need to know what works on him and what doesn't. Luthor's henchmen carry the unconscious Superman over to Luthor's tower where he has the earthquake machine. And when they set him down, Luthor shoots the earthquake machine right into Superman, sending him barreling through the ground as rocks just collapse on him, burying him alive. Like already, just great amount of challenges for Superman here. It's legitimately kind of hard for him to defeat Luthor. Or he has to actually defeat things to defeat Luthor, unlike the Ultra-Humanite trying one thing, Superman easily breaking out of it, and then the Ultra-Humanite being like, bye. And then we get to what ends up being kind of the weakest problem of this comic. Superman pops right out of the ground and starts breaking the tower and the machine, but Luthor's gone. I don't know if Luthor fled before that, assuming Superman was going to get up, or as soon as he knew Superman was coming up, he just fled. So in a weird way, even though Superman destroys Luthor's hideout and the machine, it never feels like he actually defeated Luthor, because Luthor just kind of made his point and left. It honestly feels like Luthor did all this to prove he could do something to Superman. Make God bleed, as it were. But yeah, Luthor showing up just makes these stories better. He is so much more entertaining than the Ultra-Humanite, and he has so many better ideas. So that is it for Superman vs. Luthor. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Hit the bell icon to get notifications when a new video goes up. I do this Monday through Friday. And Fridays is now Bat Friday, as I cover a Batman or Detective Comics like I cover Superman comics. And until next time, let us ponder the question, whatever did happen to the Man of Tomorrow? Bye!